Did you know that in the United States, a hamburger can sometimes cost less than a cup of coffee? In fact, in many places, you can buy a full meal, a burger, fries, and a drink for under $5. That's cheaper than cooking dinner at home. But why is fast food so cheap in America? Today, we're going to uncover the hidden history, the powerful economics, and the true costs behind one of the world's most affordable and controversial industries. The birth of cheap fast food. Our story begins over 100 years ago in Wichita, Kansas, when a small chain called White Castle opened in 1921. Back then, hamburgers weren't popular. Many Americans thought ground beef was dirty, even unsafe. After Upton Sinclair's famous book, The Jungle, revealed shocking conditions in the meat industry. But White Castle changed that perception. With its white-tiled restaurants and open kitchens, it promised cleanliness, safety, and, most importantly, cheap food. Their tiny square hamburgers sold for just 5 cents each. For the first time, Americans could get a quick, hot meal for pocket change. Fast food had been born. But the real revolution came 2 decades later in California. In 1948, two brothers, Richard and Maurice McDonald, redesigned their small restaurant in San Bernardino. They introduced the Speedy Service System, a kitchen modeled on Henry Ford's assembly line. Each worker had one task: flipping burgers, frying potatoes, or assembling sandwiches. The result? Food came out faster, cheaper, and more consistent than ever before. Burgers sold for only 15 cents. Customers lined up, not just for the price, but for the speed and reliability. And when businessman Ray Kroc franchised the model nationwide in the 1950s, McDonald's became not just a restaurant, but a symbol of modern America. The timing was perfect. After World War II, America was booming. Suburbs were growing, highways were expanding, and families were busy raising children in the baby boom. People needed food that was fast, convenient, and affordable. Fast food became the perfect solution. By the 1960s, chains like Burger King, Wendy's, Taco Bell, and KFC were competing for customers. The race was on to serve millions of meals and to keep them cheap. The economics of cheapness. But how did fast food stay so cheap, even as decades passed? The answer lies in economics and clever business strategy. First, economies of scale. McDonald's, for example, buys billions of pounds of beef, potatoes, and chicken every year. When a company purchases that much, it can negotiate rock-bottom prices with suppliers. Farmers and distributors want those contracts, even if it means selling at lower margins. That's why a large order of fries at McDonald's can sometimes cost less than a bag of raw potatoes at the supermarket. Second, government subsidies. The U.S. government spends billions every year supporting crops like corn, soybeans, and wheat. These aren't just farm products. They're the building blocks of fast food. Corn becomes high-fructose corn syrup for sodas and buns. Soybeans become vegetable oil for deep fryers. Wheat becomes bread, pizza crusts, and tortillas. Subsidies keep these ingredients cheap, which keeps fast food prices low. Meanwhile, fruits and vegetables receive far less support, making them relatively more expensive. That's why a salad often costs more than a cheeseburger. Third, cheap labor. The fast food industry employs millions of workers, many earning close to minimum wage. High turnover, part-time contracts, and limited benefits keep labor costs down. In some states, tipped wages are even lower than the federal minimum. While customers enjoy low prices, workers often struggle to make ends meet. Then there's marketing psychology. Chains perfected the art of the dollar menu. Even if costs rise, they keep a few items dirt cheap, like a $1 cheeseburger or soda to lure customers in. Once you're inside, you're more likely to buy combo meals, upsized drinks, or dessert. It's called the loss leader strategy, sacrificing profit on some items to make money on others. Finally, logistics and technology. Fast food supply chains are among the most advanced in the world. Centralized warehouses, frozen food technology, and standardized recipes keep everything consistent and efficient. Add drive-thrus, self-service kiosks, and mobile apps, and companies maximize sales while minimizing costs. Together, these forces make fast food one of the cheapest ways to eat in America. But remember, cheap at the counter doesn't mean cheap overall. It's the hidden costs of cheap fast food. Because while your wallet saves money, someone else is paying the real price. The first hidden cost is health. Fast food is engineered to be delicious, but not necessarily nutritious. It's often high in sugar, fat, salt, and calories, while lacking vitamins and fiber. Over time, this has contributed to a national health crisis. More than 40% of American adults are obese, and diet-related illnesses like diabetes and heart disease are soaring. Cheap food at the counter leads to expensive medical bills later. In fact, obesity-related healthcare costs in the U.S. exceed $170 billion every year. That $2 burger may feel like a bargain, but society pays for it in hospital bills. The second hidden cost is labor. Workers who prepare and serve fast food are often underpaid and overworked. Many rely on government assistance just to survive. One study estimated that over half of fast food workers use public aid programs like food stamps or Medicaid. That means taxpayers are indirectly subsidizing the industry, not just through farm subsidies, but through social safety nets for underpaid employees. The third hidden cost is environmental. Producing billions of burgers, fries, and chicken nuggets requires enormous resources. Beef production alone is a major source of greenhouse gases. Corn and soybean farming leads to deforestation, soil erosion, and heavy pesticide use. Even packaging waste from cups, wrappers, and bags adds mountains of trash to landfills every year. And then there's the cultural cost. Fast food has reshaped the American diet, replacing home-cooked meals with drive-through dinners. Family dinners around the table have become less common. Eating has become faster, more solitary, and less personal. So while fast food may be cheap for your wallet, it's expensive for your health, your community, and your planet. The future of cheap fast food. But will fast food always be this cheap? That's the big question. Some signs point to rising costs. Inflation and higher wages are pushing menu prices up. The famous dollar menu has mostly disappeared, replaced by $2 to $3 items. Still, compared to sit-down restaurants or groceries, fast food remains a bargain. Technology is also changing the game. Self-service kiosks, delivery apps, and even robot kitchens could reduce labor costs further. That may help keep prices low, but at the expense of workers who lose their jobs. Health trends are another factor. Some chains now offer salads, grilled options, and plant-based meats. But these healthier choices often cost more, reminding us again that cheap usually means unhealthy. Finally, there's sustainability. Public pressure is mounting on fast food giants to reduce their environmental footprint. Some are switching to eco-friendly packaging or experimenting with plant-based proteins. But these changes add costs, and it remains to be seen how much customers are willing to pay. In short, fast food may get a little more expensive, but the model of affordability isn't going away. It's too deeply tied to American culture, economics, and daily life. So, why is fast food so cheap in the U.S.? Because history designed it that way. From White Castle's 5-cent burgers to McDonald's assembly line kitchens. Because economics keeps it that way through subsidies, cheap labor, and mass production. And because culture reinforces it, Americans expect fast, filling food at a low price. But cheap isn't always cheap. The real costs are hidden in our healthcare system, in the struggles of underpaid workers, and in the damage to our environment. The next time you buy a $2 burger, ask yourself, is it really a bargain, or are we paying for it in other ways? And now we want to hear from you. Do you think fast food is a blessing of modern convenience or a curse disguised as a bargain? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to Did You Know, where we uncover the hidden truths behind everyday life.